Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. I have a confession to make. After I filmed yesterday's video, I decided to get up this morning and play in my closet a bit and see if I could find a location to put the charm that I revealed. Now, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, there's a lot of information in that video and a lot of eye candy besides just the unboxing of the charm. I unboxed the charm within the first couple minutes, but then go on to talk about multiple bags as well as some other topics as well. I'll link that video down below. But I went through a process this morning of trying to find a place for the charm on one of my bags because I have a sinking feeling that it is not going to work for that bag that I'm probably getting next week that I intended it for. And I had a little oopsie and ordered another charm that I think will work better for that bag that's coming next week. So I anticipate all of that will come around the same time. The bag has made it to the physical authentication center, and so I think that it will be shipped from Nevada probably on Tuesday. And so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'll have it by Friday, and I think that the other charm has already shipped. The size of that second charm is bigger than the size of the charm that I showed you yesterday. And since we're talking about that charm so much, let me go ahead and grab it. So my bag of the day is my Pallas BB, and I think that the color on the leather here is De La Vin. It's been a while, but I went ahead and put my new charm on this particular bag. This bag didn't have a charm. It had a chain charm. Now, this chain charm is from Nextfashion, and a little while back, Nextfashion and I collaborated, and we created a whole bunch of chain charms for different bags. And they all had like 2 rows of chain. So you could do different things with your jewelry. You could pair, a silver and a gold, or a gold and a gold, or a gunmetal and a gold. And so let me grab the one that I had on this bag prior to this charm finding its home here. I'm going to link the video below where I show multiple chain charms that Nextfashion and I collaborated on, but this one is a combination of gunmetal and yellow gold. And it is quite lovely on this bag. I'm actually going to put it on the reverse side of the bag because the reverse side of the bag is almost identical to the front. In fact, I'm not really sure what the front is on this bag. So you can see that gives it a different look. I think with my new Louis charm that this look on this bag, it's just too much to have the double chain. So it's a one or the other kind of situation. A single chain that's a little bit thicker girth, or a double chain with a little bit more petite links. And so both of those looks are amazing. Let me show you how it looks dropped down. So the charm itself isn't going to bang into the chain, and it's in the perfect position. Now, as I was playing with this charm, I noticed something, and that is that the LV is positioned in front of the flower. And I thought, man, I wish that they would have put the flower in front of the LV. Now, it's beautiful the way it is, but I went to the Louis Vuitton website, and by golly, on the Louis Vuitton website, the New Wave chain charm actually has the flower in front of the LV. Now, charms tend to flip over, and so I'm going to have some times where the charm is flipped over and the flower is in front and the LV is backwards. And it doesn't matter if the LV is backward. What you see is you see the bling factor. So I am going to get to appreciate the rose gold bit when the charm is flipped. But it kind of bothered me that this one was designed differently than the one on the Louis Vuitton website. And that's something to look out for. I mean, it's not a fail-safe or anything, but you should always go to the Louis Vuitton website and look at their stock photos And if you're buying something pre-loved, it's good to compare the details of your pre-loved item to the stock photos on Louis Vuitton's website. It's not a fail-safe way to authenticate a product, but it is a good indicator if there's something wrong in most cases. And when I noticed that this flower was positioned differently on the stock photo than the one that I got, I freaked out. And I thought, crap, is this a fake charm? I got this charm from an eBay seller from Japan. So far, everything I've bought from Japan, except for one strap, has come back 100% authentic. I bought a Louis Vuitton extra long bandolier strap from a seller from Japan a while back, and that turned out to be a counterfeit. And I did get all of my money back. But since then, I've been pretty vigilant about authenticating every piece that I get from there. And I have only ordered items that were less than $800 because I don't want to get hit with customs charges as the items come into the United States. So this morning, in a panic, I submitted this particular charm for authentication to Authenticate First. Now, I don't collaborate with Authenticate First. I don't have a discount code for you. It's not an affiliate link. I can put their website down below. But I have used them quite a lot, and I know I'm like an expert in what pictures they want on chains and charms because I have submitted so many of them to Authenticate First to be authenticated. So I submitted all the photos of this particular charm that I could think of that they would want. And then they give you a note section whenever you are getting ready to submit your authentication request, and it says, is there anything of concern to you? And so I wrote in there that my concern was that the flower was positioned behind the LV instead of in front of it, like in the stock photos on the website. Now, within an hour or maybe two, Authenticate First got back to me and authenticated this item as being real. So whew, I don't have to deal with returning it because it's not real. And it cost me $20 for that peace of mind. And so I'm happy that it is authentic. In the meantime, I was looking on eBay at other new wave chain charms, and it seems like about half of them, or maybe slightly less than half of them, have the flower positioned behind the LV. And so it seems that LV has updated the design and put the flower in front, and perhaps I have an older model, or it could be that they just throw them together, and sometimes one is behind and sometimes one is in front. Who knows? I don't, but thank the Lord, it is an authentic Louis Vuitton charm, and I ended up, even with the authentication, paying $325, and I think the retail was $490, so it would have been probably around $525 with taxes, and I saved about $200. There are a couple of fine scratches that I did find right here on the back side where the rose gold charm kind of swings back and forth. But one of the reasons why I wanted to buy a used one is I wanted to find one that was almost new but that had a few scratches, because I don't like putting the first scratches on these things because they get scratched really fast. Now, I didn't want any chipping or anything like that. I got one that was, I would say, probably close to an 8.5 out of 10. And this particular seller, who I linked in yesterday's video, and I can link down below, they tend to underrate their items in my experience, and they rated it at a 7.5 out of 10. So I'm still super happy with this charm, but I will say I do think it's going to live on this bag instead of on the one that I have coming next week. You'll have to let me know what you think. This is my bag of the day. I do have some of the maroon color in the flowers on my Z Supply top. And then I also have paired it with a David Yurman ring, which is more of a rosy peach shade. and it does have rose gold around the edges, so tying into that little rose gold that's peeking behind. If I had realized that this New Wave charm came in two different styles where sometimes the rose gold was in front, I might have looked just slightly harder, but I got a really good deal. And look, I flipped it around and it looks great. Even if the LV is backwards, it looks great like that. So I'm okay with the end result on this particular transaction. Other bags I tried the charm on before it ended up on the Pallas BB included my Speedy 20 in, I think this is a rose color pink. And I decided that I really liked the facets charm better on this particular bag. I like it coming down lower. And I tried it on this bag, which I also showed you yesterday, which is the Speedy B20 in the Damier Ebene. And I decided I like the chain charm better on this particular bag. It's interesting how it seems like these charms find a home on a bag and it's just meant to be. I do have a few charms that tend to work for multiple bags, but most of my charms tend to find a special spot and stay there. Here's another one of those Nextfashion charms, and this one has silver with gold instead of having the gunmetal with gold, and I just love it. I like that it has this little luggage tag here. When you do decide to pick it up, the chain charm is right above the Louis Vuitton lettering, and when you put it down, it does obscure it, but that is fine with me. I think it's just quite lovely. And so I do mix and match my Nextfashion chains with my Louis Vuitton chains and charms. One really interesting thing about Nextfashion's clips is that while they look a lot like Louis Vuitton clips, these swing open wider. So I do have chains from the mini bum bag and my Boulogne bag. And because the clip's little arm right there doesn't swing open wide enough, I cannot get it over a loop this size or a loop the size of the one on my Berry MM. I've had issues like that with charms like this and not being able to get the charm clip on to one of the rings like you have here on my Berry MM. And so that's something to keep in mind when you order charms pre-loved, especially if you can't return them, is to make sure that you have enough clearance to clip it onto the location where you want to have it. Now, I did start out with just the charm on this bag, and then I added back a single chain because I just thought it needed it, and I think that the end result is fabulous. I'm sure I've already said that, but it is, so it bears repeating. The final bag I want to talk about today is my Paris 15. It's the bicolor version, and I wanted to bring this one up because I thought rose gold would look particularly nice with this bag as well. But the reason why it won't end up living here is because when I put a charm on a bag right here, they tend to swing back and forth as I walk, and that drives me absolutely batty. So this charm will not end up on the Paris 15. When I wear this bag crossbody, this charm will move a little bit, but it'll just be a little bit of a sliding back and forth. It's not going to be a swinging where it could whop somebody and leave a bruise on their hand if they were walking next to me. It'll just be a very slight waving motion as I move. So that will do it for this video. Thank goodness that the charm was authentic. I was worried when I figured out that the flower was behind the LV instead of in front of it. It gave me a very sinking sensation, and I am so glad that my recommendation about Japan.hide that I made yesterday based on my previous purchase history with that particular business in Japan is still one that I can support so far as my personal experiences have led me to believe. I will make sure to link Nextfashion's chain charms as well as my discount code down below, as well as my Dress Up Your Purse discount code and their link to the Paris 15. There are several color options available for pre-order right now, and it does take a few months, but these bags with the Togo leather are definitely worth the wait. And I love how the dark brown on this one ties it into my Louis Vuitton monogram strap that has a dark brown background. So I think that does it. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ then the handbag housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there, or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.